Welcome to the WDW News Today podcast. My name is Eric Morton. With me is Tom Corliss. How's it going, Tom?
You sound under the weather, Eric.
I am under the weather. That's an understatement.
Get over it.
Get
over the weather.
I know, and my ears are so congested, and I have to get on a flight this week, and I'm worried about that, right? I'm worried about
I once burst an eardrum because I had an ear infection and I flew.
That's not a great story to tell me right before I fly.
Well,
ear infection.
It hurt like hell. It was bad. Real bad. Actually, I've done that. I shouldn't admit that. I think I've done that twice, actually. Because I'm so prone to them that they happen a lot. And
I've never had one.
Fly a lot.
Yeah.
So.
This is going to be bad. But the alternative is to not make it to candlelight at Disneyland, which is not an option, right?
Must be nice.
I get to one thing on my checklist that you've never done.
I don't get to go anywhere and do anything.
Oh, you shut up. Nobody wants to hear you cry about not going anywhere or doing anything.
Go anywhere or do anything or get anything ever.
You've gone so many places that now you have different illness stories from every country. Oh my God. Like, oh, remember the time
I actually usually don't get sick when I'm away. So that was weird to be sick in Paris. That was an odd occurrence.
Did they have weird medication that you took? Did you go to the pharmacy and there's some weird names of stuff, or did you just
grind
it out and drink water?
It turns out medication the names don't change from country to country in most cases because major pharmaceutical companies tend to distribute in multiple countries. So
what I noticed in Italy, though, is you go into a pharmacy and it's not like you walk into CVS here and just walk around and grab what you want. You walk in and someone in a white lab coat greets you and asks you why you're there.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
So it's not only the technicians that wear the lab coats, everyone that works in the pharmacy.
Right.
Even if they just stock shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
It's a weird thing. It feels weird to walk into a pharmacy that asks you what you need, and you're like, I'm just looking for some toothpaste I heard is hard to get outside of Italy. And they're like, oh, over there. Another toothpaste idiot.
Did you go looking for special toothpaste?
Yes, they have special toothpaste in Italy and Greece. And it's called Marvis. Have you heard of this?
No.
I only found out about it online. And it is made in Florence. It's a special toothpaste, and they have these kind of bespoke flavors. So,
well, yeah, because Florence is where fluoride comes from, right?
No, that's incorrect. All right, I'm already going to quit. I'm already going to walk out of the podcast. No, so you can get things like, I don't know, cinnamon, but it's like it's like I don't know. And when I looked up this Marvis toothpaste, it's like, oh, it's known for its luxurious mouthfeel. I was like, I don't know what that means, but that's not what I get. I just brush my teeth, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's your cousin, Marvis toothpaste. You know that new fluoride you've been looking for? Well, feel this mouthfeel.
Jill got some too. It was cardamom flavored toothpaste. So I don't know. I don't know anything about toothpaste. But yeah, that's weird when you walk into the pharmacy there. They're just like, you kind of feel like they're gatekeeping you. Oh, well. We do a little thing called Weird Snack Time here. And we've been criticized recently because our weird snacks have not been particularly weird.
This is one that's weird, not weird again.
This is another one that's not weird, although I have to say, I don't think I've ever eaten this. It's a Buc-ee's snack.
I've never had this.
Pecan Divinity. And it looks just awful.
It's a good band name.
Pecan Divinity. Yeah. I remember they opened up for Pearl Jam in like 96. You remember that?
Pecan Divinity. I also like that they put a halo over it. They really dug in on the divinity theme.
Right.
So what is it? Is just
I don't know. It's just some
pecan
white
bar covered in white powdered sugar?
Yeah, or white frosting, or I don't know what it is.
It looks like powdered sugar.
I guess I'm about to find out. It doesn't slide out real nice. I got to actually rip it open. That's like a nougaty thing.
Oh.
Oh no! I can tell I'm not gonna like this.
God. What is that? Oh, it is weird.
This might be the weirdest one we've had.
I think so. It's the most local.
Ugh.
Wendy, what did you feed us?
Wendy's trying to kill us.
What is it? Just goop. It looks like it was going to be solid. I thought it was going to be like a bunch of pecan, like, together with, what's the word I'm looking for? And then just powdered sugar thrown over.
I mean, no powdered sugar. This is awful. 1.
Is it nougat?
1 Bucky out of 7. I think it's a nougat. I don't know.
I don't like that. Oh, you're laughing? You knew it was bad?
Holly wanted me to feed you pickled quail's eggs, so.
Oh, I would have liked pickled quail's eggs, probably.
Here, please, Wendy, take this away. I don't even want to look at it.
Do you like that? Oh. Wow, that's why she palmed it off on us.
Well, it's weird.
It is weird.
I thought you wanted weird snacks.
Oh, it's awful.
Is it like some Texas thing?
If you get it fresh, it's not too bad. But
If you get it fresh, it's not too bad.
who knows how long
That's
this
what
has
she
been
said.
sitting in that
Yeah.
cookies, you know?
Look, there are things that Texans really like, and you can't argue with them with it on it, right? Like, no matter how bad Whataburger is, you're never going to convince a Texan that Whataburger is not good, right?
I'm not a big Whataburger fan.
Wendy said no.
Yeah, Wendy, who's from Texas, said Whataburger's not that good. I agree. It's not terrible. It's just kind of
What is the best
Somewhere around
fast
Burger
food
King?
hamburger?
best fast food hamburger. Culver's. I mean, if it's fast, if it's like you drive through, like Five Guys is kind of fast, but I don't think Five
is
Guys
great,
really
just
counts.
so expensive, but
It's
that's
too expensive and it's a little slow.
Oh, Wendy just tried the pecan divinity and did not like it.
Yeah.
Much better fresh.
So I think like Five Guys is probably the best. If you consider Five Guys fast food, it's probably the best. If you don't consider it fast food, then I would say Culver's.
Okay.
I don't know.
There's Guys is my answer. Can't think of another one I even really
Yeah, you
like.
can go broke at Five Guys. There's some place called. Is there a place called like Cookout? I've heard of, but I've never been there. I've heard it's really good. I don't know. I'm just thinking Hardee's, McDonald's, In and Out.
I like Jack in the Box.
Jack and
I do like Jack in the Box. That like 3 times I've had it.
Jack in the Box they have that like I think it's called a Frisco Melt or something like that. That's pretty good. Jack in the Box is good for drunk tacos at like 2 a.m. You get tacos for 99 cents. Those are good, but yeah, I don't know. I don't understand I'll never understand the Whataburger thing. I think it's just because it's uniquely Texas. Because whenever they put them somewhere else, they go out of business. They had one in Tampa. They tried to force it down. Everyone goes out of business. Now, Patrick Mahomes brought a few to Kansas City. I don't know if he's the franchise owner or what, and I think they've supported that and pretended it's good just to be like, keep winning, you know. But man, the
They
second
keep them open. Like as long as he wins championships,
right.
we'll keep these open.
Right, but I mean, Whataburger, they do have a Dr. Pepper milkshake at Whataburger that's pretty good. Everything else, the burger is very pedestrian, very ordinary. There's nothing special about Whataburger at all. There's the Texas Trio, I think, is Buc-ee's, which I think lives up to the hype. Whataburger, actually, there's 4. Bluebell ice cream, which is okay. I like all ice cream, so it's hard for me to take something I like and be like, oh, this is better than the other
How
things.
do we get into ice
And
cream?
HEB. HEB
What are we
grocery
talking- we're
stores.
still
These are the
talking
4
about-
Texas things.
Oh,
We're talking about the
still
Texas things.
hamburgers.
No, no. We're long past that. We're talking about Texas stuff. I lived in Texas for quite a while. I've lived in Texas multiple times, so I get those things. I'm super excited about some of the new stuff on Carousel of Products.com.
Gertie is here.
She's here?
Oh, they're out of customs. They're coming.
I heard she'll be here Thursday.
Oh, is it?
I heard she will be in our studio
I thought by the
Thursday
time this comes
immediately
out-
to be shipped out.
Okay.
Right?
So
but
by the
the
time
Gertie
you're watching
candles.
this, they're nearly here. So the 8-foot tall, 10-foot long inflatable Gertie is no longer a pre-order item. It is now just an order.
It will become an order, yep.
Yeah.
But the Gertie candles,
Yes.
which I think are wonderful, they are, we invented these in collaboration with
Trader Walt's.
where they let us, Tom and I got to dream up our own candle. And we said, well, it's got to be Gertie, right? Santa Gertie for the holidays.
Yes.
And it's got to be ice cream scented, and it's got to be a holiday flavor. So they tried a couple. We tried gingerbread, ice cream, and we tried peppermint, and we went with peppermint. We thought
Peppermint
that
ice
was the
cream
best one.
felt right. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are really adorable, and they're great stocking stuffers.
Well, the 4 ounce, yeah.
The smaller ones hit that price range that we don't have a lot of stuff in. These should be. I don't think we can do it on our Shopify account. Maybe we can. the things where like when you're at checkout, you're like, are you sure you don't want to add
A Santa Gertie.
a little candle? We should figure out how to do that.
I love them. I mean, I love their stuff. They've given us a bunch of their samples, and we have some kookier scents coming up later. But this is a nice start.
Yeah.
And it's Charlie did beautiful art for the label. I wrote a poem for the back of the can. It turned out really nice.
But I would say in this meeting, I wanted the Gertie ice cream and peppermint thing, and Tom has a special scent, a very Tom specific scent that is going to be coming our way. The technicians in the laboratory are working overtime to get it perfect, and we've sampled a couple versions of it. And it's very close to something near and dear to all of our hearts. So that one hopefully coming out within the next few weeks too, right?
Yeah.
So there's a
Just
lot
around
going
the
on.
corner.
Can I, before we move on?
And also, I just want to quickly mention, we still have our Intergalactic Lounge Singer plush. Those are not a pre-order either.
They're here.
Those are
He's
here, and they will arrive in time for Christmas if you order now. So please order.
Yep. And before we move on to that, the only thing I have to say is we have recently, we're very excited about a big event that we're going to be having. Do you want to talk about it
This
at
is
all?
announced now. We can
It has
talk
been
about it,
announced on social media today. We announced it in collaboration with Pink a la Mode, who's a pin manufacturer. We are filling that void of people who wanted stuff in the makerspace, collectibles, etc. at D23 Expo in Anaheim. We are renting the Marriott ballrooms next door to D23. So we are going to basically be replacing that void from when all they shut down the Emporium. Now that's us. So us, along with our friends at Pink a la Mode, they're going to have things like pin trading tables that you can rent. We will have space for your maker, manufacturer, collectible, reseller, whatever.
Disney fan site. Or whatever.
Come on in. We have room for you. You can check it out. Go to Main Street Marketplace Anaheim.com.
This is exciting. August 14th to 16th is the same dates as D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event. We are just outside the entrance, and this is the biggest thing we've ever done here at WDWNT. I think it's 25,000 square feet just on the Emporium side of things. Never mind, I think 20,000 square feet on the pin trading side of things.
It's huge.
Pretty nuts.
What a risk we're taking.
People
People are saying they can't hear you if you want to move the microphone closer to you.
I'm on top of it. And I'm screaming, I feel like.
I don't know.
Katie might have to play with it then.
Anyway, massive space, massive investment, massive risk. I can't wait to see how this plays out. Hopefully, everybody wants to come to this thing, and it's a big hit. I know that many people are devastated to lose the Emporium from D23 Expo, so hopefully we are doing a worthy sort of replacement for that. We'll see how that goes. It is we are approved. We had to get approved by D23 to do this. Right? We had to get them to say they're allowed to do this.
Yeah.
So we're doing it. We're doing it. We're excited about it.
So much more. We're also going to have Disney celebrities. There'll be autograph signings, all sorts of stuff. And it is 100% free to attend. Completely free to attend.
All right. I have some emails. The Voices of Literacy. You ready, Tom?
This doesn't have a song like Did Jason Do That Thing?
Did Jason do the thing? No.
I don't remember how it went. Maybe it went like that.
I don't remember. It was a Tom Corliss original song. I know that. This is from Leo. It says, hey, Tom and Eric, and apologies in advance to Eric. This is mainly a Tom question. But I recently came back from a trip from Tokyo, and the part I wasn't expecting to fall in love with the way I did was the entrance to Disney Sea. Aquasphere Plaza is just an amazing space that has so much creativity in all of it, from the music that gets you in the mood to venture the park, from the little details like custom manhole covers. That made me think, do you think you have a ranking or any unexpected favorites of park entrances? I think it'd be also interesting considering how many park entrances are just a train station and how the direction of each park could make them all unique. P.S. I think Pan Galactic Pizza Port was ironically my favorite part of Tokyo Disneyland.
Ironically.
Best Leo.
It's unironically my favorite part of Tokyo Disneyland. I cannot hear That's Amore without just singing. We were running the Wine and Dine half marathon, and I'm next to Rosanna, and they're playing That's Amore, and I just start singing the Pan Galactic song.
There's a pan-galactic version of that somewhere.
Oh, absolutely there is. It's fantastic, pan-galactic. I mean, Aquasphere Plaza is up there. So fun fact about the music. The music is played louder than any background loop in any Disney park in the world. That's for a reason. The famous composer they got to do that score demanded it be at that volume. And so it has to remain at that crazy volume it's at. But there are a couple things I think of when I have trouble falling asleep. I don't count sheep. There are two places in the world I think of when I want to fall asleep. Number one is sitting on the beach at Castaway Cay and the waves crashing. That's number one. Number two sometimes is Aquasphere Plaza, because similarly, you have the waves crashing on the Aquasphere, and then that music, which is incredible. And there's two different pieces. There's a daytime and a nighttime. It is incredible.
Those make you fall asleep.
Yeah, it's very relaxing. It's very soothing music.
I'm like way far away from you on what makes me fall asleep.
What makes you fall asleep?
Oh,
Bourbon.
Man. No. It depends. But one weird thing I like is to think back to times when I was super cozy. So I dug a snow cave once in cold weather training, and how nice and cozy that was to be out of the elements and a little, I don't know, that makes me feel good. It makes me relax and fall asleep. So if you ever watch that guy, the Outdoor Boys on YouTube, he shut down his channel or stopped making videos because he was making millions of dollars probably, and his family was getting impacted and stuff, and he quit making videos. But he'd make all these bushcraft shelters out in the blizzard and stuff. And I think there's something about a blizzard going outside and you're in a cozy little spot. I think that helps me fall asleep. Okay. But I'll try next time I go to Tokyo Disney Sea to soak it in, and maybe that will help me fall asleep.
The first time you go to Tokyo Disney Sea.
That's what I meant to say.
We'll make that happen. I don't know if there's another. What of the parks you've been to? What's your favorite entrance?
My favorite entrance, old school Epcot loop. Are you talking about music?
It could be music or atmosphere or both.
Okay, I think. Man, that's really hard. They all check a different box, right? And it depends on if it's daytime or nighttime. I think for nighttime vibes, it's really hard to beat Hollywood Boulevard. And even at DCA, kind of going in there to that whole Buena Vista Street and Carthay, those are both really special areas and a really interesting way to welcome you someplace. But I mean, Disneyland's the original, so it's just been kind of duplicated around the world. Yeah. But walking in, not necessarily the train station, okay, but kind of walking into Town Square there is really kind of cool. And I've had many moments, daytime, nighttime, good weather, bad weather. It's the time we did it at 3 a.m. and we're the only people there. Yeah. We got to see the ducks swimming in the gutter. That was great.
I like the Disneyland Paris one because it's the only train station that has the middle tunnel. I guess Shanghai does, but it's not a train station. There's a middle tunnel, so just this last trip we came through the middle tunnel. So you see the castle immediately behind the gazebo and the Christmas tree right now, and that's the most beautiful Main Street. So I like that one a lot.
All right, this next one is from Florida Panthers, who, if you don't know, they are the second best team from Florida in the NHL right now, according to the standings, thanks to Lightning on a 7-game winning streak. Hey, Eric and Tom, I hope y'all are doing well. I'm going to cheat a little bit and ask 2 questions. First, how would you guys feel about the MLB bringing a baseball team to the Orlando area, whether it would be through expansion or potentially the Rays moving in the future? Some people say it would be a problem because of traffic and tourists may not want to go to games. Second, what advice would you – well, let's just start with this first one. About the MLB, I would – I'm a Rays fan. Royals are my first team always. But I am a Rays fan, and I probably went to 20 Rays games in one season back in probably 2008, 2009. Yeah. And I could see making a case for them moving here, particularly if they get Brightline to go into Tampa and St. Pete now. Actually, that would probably keep the team in Tampa and St. Pete. But I could make a case. You could make a case for the Rays moving here. And in terms of the fans being mostly tourists, I think that's the biggest problem for the Rays, right? Having lived in the Tampa Bay area for a very long time, something like only 19% of the population of the Tampa Bay area lives within a 30-minute drive of that stadium, because you got to go over this bridge. It's a big pain in the butt. If you live in Tampa and you go to Rays games, you know it's a big pain in the butt, to the point where they changed the starting times different from most of the rest of the major leagues, just to try to get that traffic thing sorted out. I would say one problem that the Rays have had over the years, though, is that they didn't have generational fans, right? They had Phillies fans who moved to Tampa. They had Mets fans who moved to Tampa, and Yankees fans and Red Sox fans.
The Yankees fans remained Yankees fans and only came to Yankee games at the stadium.
Right. So that's kind of the thing, right? And then so they're Yankee fans most of the year, but maybe if the Yankees are out of contention, they root for the Rays or whatever. But a lot of those people, keep in mind, Tampa Bay used to be home to a lot of spring training. So everybody there had a favorite team, right? There's a lot of Blue Jays fans in Tampa because the Blue Jays play in Dunedin. There's a lot of Yankees fans because the Yankees fans preseason is in Tampa. So they didn't have that sort of benefit of like the kids that grew up with their grandpa watching the Rays game, right? The kids grew up with their grandpa watching the Phillies or whatever. So I don't think that necessarily hurts ticket sales. It might hurt fan enthusiasm. I still think you would sell a lot of tickets, right? Because Orlando's already we already have the number one tourist destination in the world here. Disney World is the number one tourist destination in the world. Yeah. And you put a Major League Baseball team right there, and the people could sort of marry their Disney vacation to seeing their favorite team play. That'd be great for attendance. It wouldn't be great for necessarily a home field advantage, though.
It's not going to be good for Orlando traffic.
Well, you know what? Traffic's a problem in every big U.S. city. Orlando does not have uniquely bad traffic. There is a stretch of I-4 from about exit 58 till you get almost to SeaWorld that's pretty bad. The rest of Orlando traffic is not that bad. It's I-4 where they're already expanding and doing all these things. I think, I've lived in Houston. I guarantee you Houston traffic is worse than Orlando traffic. I lived in Tampa. Tampa traffic is worse than Orlando traffic. I lived in Atlanta. Atlanta traffic is way worse.
But Orlando traffic feels like it could be avoided. It just wasn't. Like there's some places you need to go that there's no other way other than taking I-4 or the road next to I-4.
Yeah.
It's just not laid out great.
But if you want to know what I'm personally a proponent of, I am personally a proponent of the Rays moving to Tampa. I think they need to be in Tampa. Downtown Tampa would be a big plus, or they've talked about Ybor City or Channelside area. Those are areas that really make sense. I-75 passes right near there. I-4 goes right by there. It's sort of a major sort of intersection of Florida. It makes it, you really move to Tampa, you make it more accessible for people from Orlando to come to games.
Sense, yeah.
And still keep the people in Sarasota and even that live up north. That area is growing too, the Hernando County and Citrus County and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I would like to see the Rays move to Tampa, personally. And they absolutely have the worst stadium in baseball.
Yeah.
The second part of his question. What advice would you give to students studying journalism, whether in high school or college, and potentially people who want to work for Disney news sites like Blog Mickey, WDWNT, or Disney Food Blog? Thank you for taking time to read and answer this.
What I would tell you is, number one, to work at
don't
a
do
Disney
it. Don't
fan
do it.
news site. You don't need a journalism degree, although I appreciate that you're getting one. I know so much has changed I graduated in 2013, I think 2012. And a lot has changed since then. So I was taught by people who were in traditional media, newspapers, television, and I would say nearly everything they taught me except ethics is all gone. And in some cases the ethics are gone too. So I don't even know. I think you need to study new media and understand how it works, and then bring the ethics of journalism that should never change to new media, and that's the best advice I could give you. Yeah, and just fact check. Don't make things up. Those would be my top pieces of advice I could give.
I don't have a ton of advice. I'm not a journalist. I did work for the Tampa Tribune back in the day as a stringer correspondent. So when I was in college, they would go, this is right before I joined the Marine Corps. They would be like, hey, Eric, you work. Pat Yasinskis was my boss. So people know he worked for
like to tie
ESPN for a long
them
time.
together?
He would be a stringer was a correspondent. So they would say, "There's this high school volleyball tournament over the holidays. Go there, get us, get me, 8 inches of copy and the score and kind of keep a box score." And I would call in from a payphone and they would put it in the Tampa Tribune. It was like $30 a story or something.
My professors called that something else.
It was called a stringer or a correspondent when I was doing it.
Yeah, correspondent. There's another like wacky industry term for it. I'll think of it.
I did deliver papers as a kid, though. It's the
Yeah,
worst.
stringer. I would have thought like the person stringing them.
Nope. No. Just that's what they called it.
Okay.
I don't know. All right. Hello, my name is Tommy. What is your favorite Christmas tree on Disney property for Christmas? What is your favorite Christmas offering the company offers? Also, I love the show. Please do an episode ranking all the 2025 incidents like you did back in 2023.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll have to.
There are some good ones this year. I don't think you're going to top the scuba story, but
No, best Christmas tree, Wilderness Lodge. Best Christmas offering, Merry Menagerie.
well, there you have it. I have Wilderness Lodge. I think is probably number one for me. Number two, I noticed it the other day because I always appreciate this tree, is the American Adventure tree. I love that tree. So, some of the other ones, Animal Kingdom has a great tree. Grand Floridian has a great tree.
Always like that.
They're all great. A favorite Christmas offering, the Osborne Family Festival of Dancing Lights. Current ones.
All time, I think 99% of people would say Osborne.
I like resort hopping to all the gingerbread stuff. So that's a big one for me, right? Merry Menagerie, very cute, very nice. I don't know that's my favorite, but it's up there. I can't just always have the same thing as you. All right, that concludes
So you should.
the Voices of Literacy. If you'd like to email us, just send it to eric@wdwnt.com. Eric with a C,
Never got
E-R-I-C.
the other email.
It might work, might not. I don't know. I know someone was on it this week, and I don't.
Just use the Eric one. There's no
Just use the
reason to
Eric
use
one.
another one.
Let's not get Tom involved in this. All right. Well, Tom.
Disney Mike said traffic in the U.S. is nothing compared to Mexico City or Guadalajara or Malaysia.
Oh yeah, I've been in traffic in Mexico City before too. You just drove in Europe, didn't you?
In September, we had the rental car.
So Europe, other countries.
Brussels it wasn't traffic though. Brussels was just the weirdest roadways I've ever seen. Just very confusing.
Yeah, it can be for sure. No, international driving. I have not driven in Europe. I have driven in Mexico City. It was quite interesting. I've driven in like Toronto or something. No big deal. No big deal, eh?
I mean, the worst traffic I've ever seen is L.A. In L.A., we used to sit, if we left Universal like between 2 and 4 o'clock, I remember we wouldn't get back down to Anaheim till 6, 7, 8 sometimes, the first couple times we ever went up there. So I've never seen anything like that.
Nashville has really bad traffic sometimes. I've passed through Nashville every now and then. I'll probably pass through Nashville once or twice a year, and it's always pretty bad.
Yeah.
Atlanta, everybody knows Atlanta.
Yeah.
Nobody expects to breeze through Atlanta, but when I'm plotting a trip, if I'm taking a road trip, I'm definitely calculating what time would I pass through Atlanta if I were to do this and try to either go, very, very, very early in the morning or somewhere in the middle of the day past rush hour.
Yeah. I feel New York and Orlando are similar, that there's traffic, but it's never, I don't know, it's not often standstill. It moves.
Well, I would say that about Houston, right? When I lived in Houston, keep in mind, people that haven't been to Houston have no idea the scale of that city. Metro Atlanta can probably fit inside of the Beltway at Houston, right? And you have the 610 loop that goes. Is that what 610? Yeah, the 610 loop is the size of Orlando. Then you go outside of that, and you have Beltway 8, which is massive. And it's just a toll road that goes in a big circle. If you drove around, it'd take you all day and $1 million. And now, last time I was there, they put in another one called 99 that used to be sort of planned for future expansion. So we drove from, if you look at it like it's a clock, we were up in the Woodlands, Texas, and we drove, which is north of Houston, and we drove to a Buc-ee's in Katy, which is West Houston, right? So basically going from 12 o'clock on a clock to like 9 o'clock, I think it took an hour with no traffic.
Wow.
So, yeah, gives you an idea of Houston. Houston's something else. But people, anyway, there's a lot of traffic there, but it's usually moving. It's just stressful because you're like got people going 80 miles an hour in a pickup truck right on your back bumper. Get used to it, I guess. Tomorrowland Speedway, though. Whew. This kind of dovetails into traffic and things that you want to talk about because you want to talk about guests behaving badly. Bad guest behavior. We're not talking about the arrests, apparently, which I'm assuming since I had all the arrests.
But we should do an episode of that again this holiday season. No, I just want to talk about things that guests do that upset people. So whether it's they're annoying or poorly behaved or what are the things other guests around you in a theme park do that are frustrating or annoying or despicable or otherwise. And this came about because every set of guests at the parks around the world have their own brand of crazy, essentially. Disneyland Paris, you see some things that you can't unsee. There are things that happen that you won't believe. But then also just some of the normal. The one, I'll get the ball rolling with one. There's one that happens at every single place around the world. It does not fail. Groups of guests who stop directly in front of the entrance of the attraction to have the conversation of, are we riding this? Who's riding it? Should we do this? What kind of ride is it? Just stopping directly in front of the entrance of an attraction that puts in thousands of people an hour. Stop. You can see the entrance from elsewhere. You can have the conversation from off to the side. Don't block the entrance of an attraction, a store, a restaurant, whatever. In front of the sign and in front of the doorway is not the place to have that conversation.
Yeah, and I would say I see this happen often when you go into the park. When you enter the park, you put your finger on the thing, you wait for the light to turn green, you go, and the family that was ahead of you has just stopped. All of them standing there, gathering together, trying to figure out what their plan for the day is.
Where are we going?
It's not the place to do it. Go anywhere else, but right there to do that.
Go off to the side. I mean, that probably applies for more than just the start of your day and what ride do you want to ride. I think people do it for a million things. The general rule, just get over to the side of the walkway. Don't stand in the middle of the walkway and decide what you're going to do. And I love when it's a group of 12 guests and they have 2 strollers and there's thousands of people trying to get somewhere right now. Get out of the way.
Yeah. Fat Tessa Travel says, my friend was in Shanghai, said he's never seen people behave so badly.
I've seen worse in Paris, depending which European vacation season it is.
Yeah. I know that kids climb all over everything in Paris.
I saw a family climb to view the fireworks, climb on top of a popcorn cart. They tried to sit on the roof of the popcorn cart to watch fireworks, and the cast member comes with a flashlight. He's like, you got to get down. And I stood there with my parents. I go, look, they're kicking those people off the top of the popcorn cart. My mother's like, what are you talking about? She's looking at the popcorn cart, and I was like, look up. And she looks up. She goes, oh, they're on the roof.
Yeah?
And it happened. My favorite thing at Disneyland Paris on the Discoveryland side, before fireworks, if you're there at the right time, you'll see a couple of cast members with flashlights. And they're looking at the rocks. And the first time I'm like, what are they looking for? And the person I was with asked the guy, she's like, what are you looking for? And he goes, people sitting on the rocks. So people go into this fountain thing, climb the rock and try to sit on top of the rocks to watch fireworks. And apparently it's so common that every night they have to check.
There's a rock guy.
There's a couple of guys with flashlights that check the rocks every night. Also in the summer, there's a couple of fountains in the park that people just go swimming in. It's just a thing.
I've noticed something that I think we tend to tolerate in America that I don't think is as well received overseas, which is holding spots in line for people. I recently saw a fight on TikTok of, a family was trying to get back up with their group and cut in line, and somebody, took exception to that, and there's a physical confrontation. I don't know what the correct thing is on this because I've seen this abused. I've seen hey, if we're near the beginning, if we're in the first 5 minutes of standing in line and someone had to go to the bathroom, I go, okay, that person came to the ride, said, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, I'll be right back. That's different than I've waited in line for 45 minutes and then these people come up that have been off, God knows where doing God knows what.
So I will say this. Japan, obviously the nicest theme park crowd. There's one thing they do that everyone does, and it's the line holding. They don't have a problem with it. It's just a thing. They do it too. It's the one that everyone does. The only difference in America is people throw fists over it.
Don't you have to get a pass in France? Didn't you have like an incident?
Oh,
where...
no, that was different because the show was new that week and they thought people were trying to sneak in. That was a whole different thing. No, generally, like they do it the most, I think. But Japan, it's like the one thing where you're like, there's so many rules here and everyone's so worried about being courteous to those around them or not even being noticed by those around them that you're amazed that that's the one. You're like, wow, so this is the one like rude guest thing that you guys even do. That's kind of wild.
We had an incident. This is more than 10 years ago. This is back when Toy Story Mania was sort of a long wait, like was this is probably before they added the second side to it. But these two kids come through the line and one's on a phone and one's going kind of like, Mom. And they're like just zigzagging, getting through the line on everybody.
They pretended.
And like an hour later, we're all still in line and the same two little bastards tried it again. It was the same two kids, and my sister's like,
it was a
nope,
lie. They get to a point where they're just like, oh, couldn't find them, and then they just load the ride and they go.
Yeah.
It's the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah. But
my favorite thing is like I'm openly passive aggressive to people when they do it. And so I'll do the whole like, I'm pretending to look for my family. My family's not here. And I do it loud. And you'll see people around catch on and start laughing. What are some other
Okay, so
ones?
I have one. When you drive into Epcot, there are usually multiple lanes you can use, but everybody eventually consolidates into a lane.
Yeah.
And then there's the one person that saw a meme online that said like a traffic jam's always faster if you zipper merge at the end. So I think that applies to like a theme park line where there's this sort of unspoken social contract. Everybody's arranged in this line to get to their row. And yesterday I witnessed this Friday I witnessed this going in for Festival of Holidays. And one car comes zipping up the left lane, passes like 50 cars, right? And he gets there just in time to be the first car for a new row. So they send him all the way to the end. And I was like, well, small justice, I guess. I can laugh for at least a second. I don't know. I think there is a time when there are times when they intend for you to use both lanes, but those are clear because they're sending both lanes down the rows, and they weren't yesterday or weren't Friday. And some of that's a traffic control issue with parking, right? Epcot parking in particular is always kind of a head scratcher for me. I'm always like, do they know what they're doing? Have these guys parked cars before? What are you doing? But yeah, that happened yesterday or Friday, and I had to laugh. It was a good one.
When my parents are here, which they will be most of the next 2 months, we have the disability parking. And Epcot's always the one where they like send you up there and then there's no one there and no signage and you just turn down a lane and it's like, oh, it's full. And you'll see like 400 cars circling because handicap is actually full.
Yeah.
And you're like, no one's looking at this? Like we're just all going to keep circling up here for a parking spot. You can't open another row or something. That happens a lot, but that's not a guest problem. That's a cast staffing problem.
The worst parking lot has to be Hollywood Studios.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can park so far away from the entrance to Hollywood Studios, it's not even funny. You know, Epcot is huge, but I feel like no matter where I park at Epcot, it feels like a reasonable walk. I've had the worst parking spot at Epcot, and it wasn't nearly as bad as some of them I've had at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
If I had it my way, I would park at Hollywood Studios and early in the morning. And then if you're going to Epcot, take the Skyliner over and then come back for the evening at Hollywood Studios, and your car's nearby. I don't know. Some people with the electric vehicles get a leg up now, too. Fake like my car's electric and back in and plug the thing into it. It just doesn't do anything. Any other guests getting under or grinding your gears?
Children on shoulders.
Absolutely. Children on shoulders during a fireworks show should be absolutely expressly forbidden and in the announcement.
Hold them at shoulder height.
Yeah, hold them at shoulder height or something. But I've had so many incidents when I'm at a place. This is one of the reasons I don't like these crowds. I don't like gathering a long time ahead of time for these big shows because someone will ruin it.
Yeah.
And there's always someone that like, okay, the show's starting, and you can barely see. And then they're like, oh, now's the time to put the kid on top of my shoulders. And they're like, it's all about the kids. You know, I get it. It's all about your kid.
But your kid on the shoulders is now blocking the kids
blocking
behind
like
him.
10 people.
You know,
And
never
holding
mind.
up the iPad like an idiot, whatever. It's
No child nor electronic device should go above your head.
yeah.
Your
Seems
height
fair.
is where you're filming from. I'm sorry. That's the rule. The
I had
device
someone.
doesn't go above your head.
I had someone one time. Another one. They were the kid is in a stroller. So the show starts, and the man picks the kid up. Man puts the kid on his shoulders. And I'm like, well, I could step to the side, except the balloon the kid was holding in the stroller is now
Oh, yeah.
blocking my view on this side. And I'm like, I politely just kind of pulled the balloon down and looped it once around the handle so I could see. But I'm like,
Yeah.
do you have no self-awareness of what you're doing, or you just don't care? You're just more important. than
That's
everyone.
always the discussion we have, especially in Paris, is it that people just don't think, or do they not care? And it has to be one of them. And maybe it's a little bit of both. I don't know. But I forget there was a New Year's Eve where we had to yell to people, like several people ahead, like, could you take your balloons down? They had like 2 balloons and they're all the way up. And we're like, fireworks are starting in 2 minutes. Can you bring your balloons down?
Yeah.
And they were annoyed about it. It's like, they're balloons. Do they need to see this? Are they alive?
Also, if your party size is larger than 4, I'm sorry, you cannot all walk shoulder to shoulder through the World Showcase Promenade.
Or anywhere.
Right. It happened to me Friday. Just like 7 people walking shoulder to shoulder, like just bulldozing through everybody in World Showcase. Like, what is wrong with you people? And you can't get around them. You can't get through them. Everybody just has to step to the side.
Yeah.
Look out. Our family's here. Yeah, I don't get it. I do not get it, Tom.
It's like people never go outside.
It's
Like they don't know how to be outside.
It feels like me this week. I was outside. I tried really hard. It just didn't work.
But also, I was thinking of like Anaheim. We go to watch the fireworks, and inevitably there's the
God.
kids on the shoulders. But then there'd be like these like groups of like 14 to 17-year-olds who decide they need to go live on some social media platform vertically to film the fireworks. And my favorite is they'll watch the show and then go like this to the side. And it's like, well, this is where I'm watching from. Your head is here and now your phone is here. You're not even looking at it. So like there was one, I have video of it somewhere. I'll have to see if I can find it. But there's one where the kid's not looking. And so he's essentially filming like the facade of Main Street, and the fireworks are not in the camera shot. They're missing. They're not in it. And he's just, the whole show, he just kept streaming to like 3 people the view of nothing.
I mean, live streaming is miserable. Like it's tough to do. I think it's hard to do well. But if I'm going to go through the trouble of doing it, I'm going to at least frame the shot.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
not
know.
about you.
People picking up your mobile order in Starbucks or quick service when it's busy and they don't bother listening properly for their name or number to be called out. How about the people that block the counter, like they just ordered and they stand against the counter? It's like, you're not going to be the next one called. I don't know if you know how this works.
Yeah, Starbucks is weird because they don't have mobile order here.
Yeah.
The Starbucks in downtown Celebration, I went there the other day and I was like, man, there's a lot of stuff just sitting on a mobile order and no one in here.
Yeah.
I was like, if you want to be a bad person, you could get a lot of free coffee doing this because there's just 12 orders sitting on a mobile order thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Starbucks is a weird situation here in the parks, partially because there's no mobile order, but it's very loud in there. I have trouble with, even when I'm not sick, I have trouble in a place with a lot of background noise. So I'll think I hear my name, or I'm not sure that I hear my name. And then if I order 2 items, they might give you one at a time. You got to listen twice. It's just kind of annoying the way they have it. Put up a little board or something that says the name. Like, is that so hard? You don't want to do mobile order. You can at least display whose order is up.
That's fair. Yeah.
I don't know. Is the Starbucks in downtown Disney reopened yet? The one that shut down for the union
I think
walkout?
they did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shut that one down for a few days. That does have mobile order. Doesn't work very well. But
Not Disney related, but certainly going on a trip like the airport. Is anything worse than when they're about to start boarding the flight and everyone stands up and blocks the lanes to board? Like, why? You're group 6. Sit down.
Right. They're like,
One and two can be standing right now. 1 and 2. If you're past group 2, sit down or at least move out of the way until group 5. When the group before you is called, then you can stir. You standing here is not going to do anything for you.
I flew recently. I flew United to Chicago, I think. And I was boarding group 2. I was the 8th boarding group to be called. Because they're like, they list off 14 groups before they ever get to group
Active
1.
military, people with small children.
I think that's
those
weird.
Who need additional time.
I think that's weird. Nothing against the military, but when I was in the military, it was like a service-oriented thing. So the military would be the people that would be like, you go ahead, I'll wait. And it was not popular to be in the military when I was in the military, right? It was we sort of developed a military hero rush like post 9/11. Pre 9/11, military was, I didn't often fly in uniform, but I certainly didn't get special privileges. And then everybody lined up for this, we can't be perceived as hating the military. We got to put the military on first. I don't think that makes sense. You're young. You're the most able-bodied person on this flight.
Yeah.
Why do you need extra time to board?
That's fair.
And when I was in, like I said, it was just the opposite. It was
Retired military, I think, would be a sweet thing.
Yeah, they don't do that.
That
It's
makes sense,
military
but you'd then
in uniform, active duty.
But then, if
in
you
uniform,
needed
not
it, you would
veterans.
fall under those who need additional time to board anyway. So,
Yeah,
I understand that.
I don't know. I see that, but literally, I think I was the 7th or 8th group to board. It's military, families with children, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
However many different tiers of frequent flyer you are with that airline, and diamond and premier and premium and first class. And then they're like, okay, group 1. You're like, by that point, you look around like you're the only person that hasn't boarded the plane yet. And Southwest does this thing where they do between groups A and B. That's when the families board. That makes sense. Right, I think, you need a little extra time is okay. But they talk about the South. You've heard the miracle flights. They used to call Southwest flights miracle flights because they would be like everybody would say they needed extra time and they had a special condition when it was time to board the plane and to get a good seat, right? Because Southwest had that kind of first come first serve boarding.
Yeah.
And then when the plane landed, they could just hop up and get off with everybody else. You're like, oh, you've been healed in flight. That became a thing for a long time. I don't know. Now they changed how they do that. There's not really a good sweet spot for how to handle the delicate nature of what might be a disability for some person that someone else might not consider a disability, or whether that be anxiety, or you have I don't know, people. Everybody has a story about someone with an emotional support peacock that tried to get on a plane or whatever. I don't know if that's the case. But.
I know we waged war against those who had a DAS but didn't deserve it, and in the process. There's plenty of people who needed a DAS who don't have it anymore because money needed to be made. But in Europe, things are different. In Disneyland Paris, things are different. You always had to prove you had a disability. You had to usually show doctor's notes or whatever.
Yep.
And you get the disability card. Now, there are levels of it. There is a disability card in Paris that is not only good to skip a line at a ride, it is good to skip lines anywhere.
Really?
And by anywhere, I mean you could be at a food kiosk. Okay. And so we were at I do have a problem with that, though. Here's the thing. For a ride, everybody can't go on the ride, right? And everybody has to wait together to go on the ride together. A food kiosk, if you're a group of 12, do the 12 of you have to come up to the front of the food kiosk and cut off everybody? The person who needs to not stand in line could go sit at a table, right? While the other person goes and gets the food. There's a system in place. The reason the disability passes are so important for rides is because everyone has to be together. And if one person can't wait, it's not really fair that everybody waits and then you have to go collect the person and then they can, that doesn't work. But for a restaurant, it certainly works. Someone who's able-bodied can wait while the person who can't wait is relaxing somewhere. So in Paris, we were at the Old Mill, and a couple of families in a row, full families, just came in front of us and ordered food. And I'm like, on a ride, if you do this, I don't care. That's fine. That makes sense to me. But we're just ordering cookies. Someone could wait in this 5-minute line for the cookie.
I have had the opportunity before to push a wheelchair through Magic Kingdom, or to be with a group where someone was in a push wheelchair. and it is difficult. A lot of these things, but I will say, like, it's a small world. Like, if you need wheelchair on that, you were waiting way longer than everyone else because there's only a certain amount of
It didn't actually
boats
save you
that
time, it was the
actually were
opposite.
equipped for that. So it didn't. So in that sense, like the disability thing wasn't a I don't even want to call it benefit, but it wasn't like a this thing that got you ahead of people. It was actually something where you were waiting longer.
Purely depended on the ride, but Small World would be one of those where it was like, forget it, we're not doing it because we're going to wait an hour when the wait time's right now only 20 minutes. Because that's just how long it takes to get one for the wheelchair. Toy Story Mania used to have days like that too, where that particular disability for the special vehicle, like I remember waiting there for an hour and the wait time outside was only posted at 30 or 40 minutes. And it's like, well, what are we going to do? She needs the wheelchair. So this is how we're riding this.
It's very difficult to accommodate people, right? It's the right thing to do to accommodate people with disabilities.
Yeah.
There seems to be no universally perceived fair way to do this.
Yeah.
And this can be, this applies to all segments of society, right? Like whether it's a hotel room or getting on and off of an airplane or whatever, because what this does is it's something like airplanes, it draws attention to you. You don't want that attention, right? I think if you have a highly visible disability, like you're in a wheelchair, as opposed to many people have hidden disabilities. You're in a wheelchair or something like that, you already probably feel like a lot of eyes are on you, right? And then you have to do this thing to go on, everyone's sitting there at the gate waiting for you to get wheeled aboard the aircraft. I'm sure that's not fun.
No.
I'm sure it's not easy to deal with a condition like that. And it is unfortunate that, yes, a number of people over the years kind of saw that other people were getting something they perceived as special treatment and turned it into a thing they exploited or abused.
Sure.
And people are gross.
That doesn't mean it should be taken away from people that need it.
Correct. That I agree. And you know what? If I'm going to have to wait an extra minute and a half in a line because someone has a disability in front of me, that's fine.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I have to wait an extra 5 minutes because 3 people out of 10 lied and exploited the system for me, I still think it's okay for the other people to be accommodated, right?
Yeah.
So, I understand that this was a system that we're getting into a DAS discussion. I didn't intend to get here, but I understand that like there was a system that's being abused. They were saying like that I forget, was it 5 times more people were being accommodated with DAS than had been in the previous 10-year period, whatever. I understand that exists. I don't think it's any better than the system we have now where you buy your way onto rides.
Yep.
Right? Remember there was an article that came out, and this is before I worked here, I'm sure you wrote an article on it, about the woman who was saying this is how the 1% do Disney, where they were allegedly hiring disabled people to come to the park with them to get to the front. And I'm thinking, no, the 1% would be buying a VIP tour and skipping all the lines, not abusing someone's disability status.
They meant the 1% of absolutely despicable human beings on this planet.
It's really gross.
That's what they meant.
It's really gross.
I don't even know that necessarily they had someone who needed, or I don't know that they had actual people who deserved a DAS. I think it was the same where part of the problem was there were people who like said they had a condition and Disney couldn't check and they gave them the DAS and they were like, how do I make money off of this? And they started doing that. So I don't even know that they were taking necessarily real qualifying people for DAS to do that. I think people were exploiting the system. Again, it's not right that they did that, but it doesn't mean that there should be people out there who actually need the service who can't get it. Like there has to be another way. There has to be.
And I think the worst park guests are the people that were abusing that stuff, right? To the extreme amount, right? I have before. One time I was injured and both of my knees were injured and I was on crutches and I went to meet people at Magic Kingdom. And I realized there is no accommodation in the parking lot for someone who's on crutches you don't get a handicap placard, for instance, for being on crutches.
No.
But where I was going to park would have been absolutely impractical. I asked the cast members, like, look, you see I have crutches here. I have braces on both my knees. Is there any way I can park somewhere closer? And they let me go up. They just let me do that. And I'm like, but yeah, there isn't a way to accommodate temporary type of things like that.
Yeah.
And this goes the same. I talked at length about my brother who was going through chemo and had, some real issues that, again, they don't give you a this guy's going through chemo thing. And people could say you shouldn't go to theme parks if you can't hack it. You know, if you're I don't agree with that. I think the theme parks are for everybody. Maybe especially people who are, at this stage in their life when they're fighting cancer and they need a break from something. So, some of those accommodations were or were not being made, and the problem was the decision was being thrust to the frontline cast member who had to make this determination. And I think at Disneyland in particular, it felt like an interrogation. You go in there. So what Disney decided to do was say, okay, we're creating this other group. They go through that. We're not going to have this person, at town hall make this decision. This is going to be made by somebody on a conference call. And I don't think it's been well received. I don't think it has gone well. And I don't think that this is the final version that you're going to see of this.
Yeah, Jason in the chat brought up Ibsess, but there's so many families that have come to us and talked about how they don't like the universal system either.
Yeah.
It's the lesser of two evils, but I don't think either is the right way. I don't think it was, well, legally we can't ask. So we found a way to legally ask what your disability is, and I don't agree with that. I think that's ridiculous.
And also you look now, due primarily to the incident that took place that took man's life, Universal became very strict on what people with disabilities could even do at all.
Yeah.
What rides they want from a liability perspective. They're like, you know what? We need to just say you can't come on this roller coaster. You just can't do it. And what I believe in my heart is that's unfortunate. What I saw in the comments was gross, which was
it's
a huge amount of people
disgusting.
saying this guy got what he deserved, or this is what you get. You shouldn't have been on that roller coaster and all that stuff. Like, just people, and you're like, these are on Facebook. These are these people's real names.
Yeah.
And they feel comfortable saying that in public.
I was on a bit of a Universal high after Epic opened, and I think between what I've seen them do to their guests with operations, and between that and people who are self-professed Universal fans, the disgusting things I've seen said, whether you think it or not, to go online and to write that about someone who died, who didn't do anything malicious to anyone. He rode a ride. Like,
people were mad that it was shut down for a couple weeks.
It's disgusting. It's a human being died. Whether you think they should have been on that ride or not, there is no logical reason that you need to leave that comment on Facebook. I don't know what that does for you. Does it make you feel better about yourself? I don't get it. Look, people have silly, stupid arguments on social media all day long, but to say those kind of gross things about someone who died is a step beyond the usual psychosis of this community. So, but I've been real turned off on Epic, and I'm like, I don't know. I think they all kind of sucked the fun out of that park for me. I'm in no rush to go back, mostly just because of the stigma that those people have created around that ride of like, well, you shouldn't ride things if you're like this. And it's like, well, maybe theme parks should build more rides that are accessible to more people. And I think Disney takes their time to think of those things with every ride they build. And I think Universal just builds a ride and then is like, I guess people could go on this.
Look, Fat Test of Travel in the chat, right? I know for a fact from knowing people who are, larger people that Universal has always been less accommodating. Their roller coasters have always been less accommodating. That's not anything. Also, the Ibsess at Universal, you might spend as much time going through that system as you gain in line waiting, right? Because I went with someone who had a disability for an Ibsess, right? So they check in. This is for horror nights, and there's a team member there with an iPad, and they go, "Okay, I'm adding this person to my Ibsess." Okay. Now Disney, that's it. You're done. You're on. That was just to get in the line. Then we get in the line and wait, and we go to a window. I swear to you, I closed on my house faster than this was. This is a very long and deliberate thing. This is for someone who already had the card or the Ibsess approval. So I can only imagine.
A system that's made to make these people not wait in line. Yeah. It's totally logical.
Gross people on YouTube are my least favorite.
Yeah. Or
gross
any
social media
platform.
people. What?
Gross people on any platform.
Yep. Someone said, he said, Fat Test of Travel said SeaWorld is the worst in the country, by the way. That's interesting. I know that a couple of years ago I went with Jason and a couple other people, and I wasn't there in time to try to ride. They were going to ride the surf coaster, the one that's like you're surfing.
Pipeline.
Neither of them could ride it.
Yeah.
And Jason is not that big of a guy. Like nobody could ride this thing.
Yeah.
It's apparently very restrictive. You're not building rides for everybody, I guess. I don't know. SeaWorld, you kind of expect that.
Yeah, or Six Flags or Cedar Point, or like they're not built to be accommodating. They're just built to be big thrill rides, and whatever the safety requirement is, it is.
Yeah.
They're not. That's what made Disney different. Is that they think about like what are we have to have ride systems that are accessible to more people.
Yeah. I agree. Especially Epic Universe. The complaints are that there's nothing to do there.
Yeah.
Right. And people go, "Oh, you're surprised at a new park that you couldn't do every ride there?" And people are like, "I went there. I paid $150 and I rode 2 rides or 3 rides, and there were only 10 or 11 rides and a couple shows."
Yeah.
And 3 or 4, 5 of those rides are like carnival rides.
I'm not mad that I couldn't do everything. I'm mad that I couldn't do anything.
Right. I couldn't do anything that wasn't a carnival ride, an off-the-shelf carnival ride. Right. I mean, I think, boy, we talk about it on the podcast a lot. Epic Universe, what the failure of 2025, the biggest.
Yeah.
If you want to go through all of the news that we posted for 2025.
Creatively has some shining moments.
A real triumph creatively.
But operationally and from a guest-facing perspective, a disaster.
The biggest failure of 2025. Yeah. It's unfortunate. People be horrible. I agree with that, London Tom said.
Do you have any other bad guests you want to talk about? I have one more. I have one more bad guest. Elevators. You ever go to like a bank of elevators in a hotel? And you click the button, and then more people show up, and more people. And the doors open, and everyone. I literally had a situation where we pushed the button for the elevator, stood there, and then everyone behind us got in the elevator, and we couldn't fit.
Was this on a cruise? Was this cruise line?
No.
Cruise line that happens all the time.
On cruise line, I feel like people are generally better about knowing that, oh, I didn't call it. Who called it? You go first. No, I forget where this was. I think it was in Europe, but people just all got in the elevator and were like, well, I guess we'll wait for the next one.
Well, like if you go to Grand Destino Tower, it has the same elevator system, sort of like the Marriott Marquis in New York City.
And Paradise Pier, a Pixar
yeah, where you hit the
place,
button and then it tells you what elevator to go to. I like that a lot better, right?
I don't like that either because I think sometimes if they malfunction, it's very hard to get everyone where they need to go, and it's a while before the hotel realizes they're not working correctly.
Marriott Marquis, the problem is that the lobby is on something like the 12th floor. So everybody's going up to the 12th floor. So everybody kind of knows no matter what letter it tells me to go on, I could probably get in here and just get off at the 12th floor. I don't know if it's the 12th floor, but it's up there, right? I haven't stayed there in a few years, but that used to be a regular spot.
In that same vein, though, I think the worst place of guests at any Disney park in the world right now, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
Really?
You go into the first pre-show and everybody feels the need to yell whatever stupid punchline they have. What do they call themselves? Drunkoholic. Oh, tired. Oh. So that begins the bad experience. And then everyone's been on this. And so everyone in the world is like, I know where to go. The doors are going to be on the right side. And everybody gets in there and pushes to the right side and then fights their way through the hallway. So here's my question. Certainly, a lot of people in the world have been on the Haunted Mansion. Right? So Guardians, everyone runs to where they know the door is.
Why don't people at Haunted Mansion figure that out?
So that's my question is, are people just too dumb to have figured out over time where the door is on Haunted Mansion? So they get in there and they're like, there's 2 of them. And last time I think the door was there, but maybe it's there. Like, I don't understand. So Guardians specifically, they've all figured it out. And they're like, we're going to stand on this side. When the wall goes up, we'll run to the door. And then Haunted Mansion, which has been there for how many 50 something years now. People even like at Disneyland, a couple people do it, and because there's a lot of locals. But at Disney World, it's like you guys all figured it out at Guardians. You still haven't figured it out at this one. This one's racking your brain. You forgot which one's the door.
Sometimes I will hang back on Haunted Mansion just to just to kind of stay out of the cattle call when people go through, because enough people do. Like, obviously, the way I remember as a kid was whichever side the Master Gracie portrait is on when you enter the room, then it's on that side. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll hang back and let people do that. Other times I'll just be like, seems better to just hang out here by where the
Paris, we let them go because people there in Shanghai in particular, people really like to. I mean, they shove in Tokyo, but it's different. They really like to shove. So Phantom Manor, like, just let them go in and then let them leave because I don't want to get pushed into the ropes in the hallway after we leave the stretching room. So we just let them go. I'm in no mood to push. The other thing they like to do is if there's a funnel, like there'll be 8 of them, and as long as one of them's ahead of you, they won't relent. Like they're like gonna pull the other 7 members of the 7 members of the family past you, and you're like, why? Like, just wait 1 second. There's 2 of us.
Why do we need funnels though? Pirates of the Caribbean doesn't need a funnel.
Well, out of the stretching room.
I know, but why do you need that? Why can't the
because you want to
pre-show
get
be
people
in
out
a
quick.
queue? Why can't you be in a queue when you experience the pre-show so you're not fighting with everyone?
Well, Disney did that a lot later because of the problems.
No, but no, the Cosmic Rewind they didn't. Cosmic Rewind, they're like, let's have a fist fight in 3 different spots. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't like that pre-show setup at all. As much as I like Cosmic Rewind, that pre-show setup is abysmal. That room is bigger than it needs to be. They never put enough people to fill that room anyway.
Yeah.
It's so oversized and overbuilt. Yeah.
I don't know.
And people hate that pre-show, so they just all gather at the door. They're like, I don't want to see the Cosmic Generator. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, I've seen clips on social media of people sprinting for Cosmic Rewind in the morning. Like, what is wrong with you? You're a grown adult. Why are you running to get on an amusement park ride? I'm sorry, Tom. If I have to run, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. We ran into a very nice cast member who works at Guardians, and he was telling us about rope drop, and he was talking about how his shoes are destroyed because people stepped on his shoes. And I was like, if you're stepping on a cast member's feet to be the first person on a ride in the morning, you need to reassess your life.
Yeah.
Like, don't step on another human because you want to ride a ride. There's no reason to step on someone's feet.
Do you think anybody ever sprints, doesn't really know what they're doing, and then they just run and they're the first person in mission space that day? Like, oops. I wasted all my effort. Now I'm the first.
They just make a
person
wrong
on
turn and they're
space.
like, we'll just rope drop this. This will get a weight, right? I don't know. But people in pre-show, people that feel the need to like push ahead in those funnel moments, in the bottleneck moments, it's like, just if you're a big group, you're not getting ahead of the group of 2. Let the group of 2 go. There's no one for you to fight ahead of.
If I want to run in a theme park, I'll enter a Run Disney event.
There you go.
That's it. That's the only time I'm running.
Yeah.
I've grown up. When I was a kid, I remember going to rope drop at Disneyland, and they made this big announcement. At that time, they actually had I think it was a chain going across Main Street. And they're like, make these announcements. Do not run, do not run, do not run. They drop it, and every kid in Southern California ran to Space Mountain.
I mean, the Japanese people like to run.
Yeah.
They're big rope drop running people. Especially like first day of an event to get a parade spot, they all run. And the cast members are asking them to not, but they just do it anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of that. No, sorry, no. And they just
Please do
they
not
don't care.
run. Yeah,
they don't care. They'll just still do it. It's funny, like, if people are rope dropping from the front of Disney Sea to go to Fantasy Springs, and you're like, you're going to have to run for the next 12 minutes straight before you get back there.
It's a haul.
It's uphill. It's uphill or up steps. It's insane. It is a trek. It is a trek to have the most popular ride in the park that far back in the longest Disney park in the world.
Which ride is the most popular ride in the park?
Well, the Fantasy Springs ones now.
Well, there's the Frozen
Probably
one.
Frozen, yeah.
It's more popular than the Beauty and the Beast ride?
I don't know. Because I have to compare like the ride capacity.
Yeah.
I think when Beauty and the Beast opened, it was probably Fantasy Springs has the benefit of there were several new things people wanted to do to like break it up. So some people are like, I'm going to Frozen. There are people like, I'm going to rope drop Tangled. I want to rope drop Peter Pan. So it broke people up a little bit. When Beauty and the Beast opened, the only other new thing was the Baymax, the Happy Ride with Baymax. Right. And not to be mean, but I don't know how many people were like, that's the thing we've got to rope drop today. But people did because they didn't want to pay to ride that. And I agree. That's what I used to do is I used to buy the Disney Premier Access for Beauty and the Beast and then go rope drop Baymax. So I'm like, I'm not going to give them $15 to skip the line at Alien Swirling Saucers.
No,
basically.
Never.
No. So we'll wait 20 minutes at rope drop for Baymax and then it's out of the way.
I'll just stand at the side and say BAY.
MAX. Baymax Usano Happy Ride.
There we go. That's all I know about that.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
I assume now you no longer need a separate entry to get into Fantasy Springs. Everybody
Correct.
can
Yeah,
go.
you just go in, and there's no more standby pass. You can get in.
There's
You
no
can get
one in,
in
one out
standby
policy.
line for the rides now. Yeah.
Oh,
So with our big group trip in April, we'll just all wait 360 minutes for.
I'll go like the week ahead of time and scout it out.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure.
There's a lot going on next year, but I'm excited to potentially go on that trip. Hopefully, it works out.
How old do you have to be to work at WDWT? Whatever's legal. You have to legally be able to work. Anyway. What?
We have some stories.
Oh, yeah, we're not talking about that now, please.
When
Anyway.
little Katie first applied, she said in her application, "Just so you know, I'm only 17 years old." And we were able to hire her for like a part-time night job, running cameras.
Yeah. She was almost 18 though, wasn't she?
I think so.
Wasn't like in a week or two.
Pretty close.
So we're like, oh, that's fine.
You'll make an exception.
Yeah. Anyway.
Running through Epcot and the half marathon in the original course was amazing, especially early 2000s soundtrack. I ran the 2012, and we ran into Epcot, and you just ran around the Christmas tree and back out. I don't know what it is now.
It depends on which one.
For the
They're all
half.
they
That was
keep,
a regular
they
Disney
keep
World half,
changing. Yeah, every half feels different at this point.
And that's all for this episode of the WDW News Today podcast. We'll see you next time.
See you real soon.